I don't know what it is about me, but I'm when it comes to the holidays, Christmas is my favorite, and very close second, it is Independence Day. But I don't know what it is, but I am my if I were to pick my favorite Christmas song, it would be "Good King Wenceslas." Now, if we were to pick out Christmas songs, now how did Good King Wenceslas even begin? Well, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I mean, comment down below what you think is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word king. Now, this is not political or anything. This don't even mention anything about Donald Trump because this has nothing to do with him. So, but what this has to do with is like a is like stuff of like back in the good old days. This actually history goes all the way back to Barshavov, Duke of Bohemia. This goes back to like the 900s. Yeah, Barshavov the First, Duke of Bohemia, was the grandfather that kind of started this whole thing. And this is all Czech. Born in 852, died in 889. Correction. Reign was from 867 to 889 till the day he died. He married Saint Ludmila of Bohemia. She was born in 860, died September 21st, 821. She was actually murdered, but we'll get to that part here momentarily. Her reign was from 889 to 915. Ludwig, he was married in 874. Them two married in 874. Duke of Bohemia and of Borzhov, and Ludmila, both married then. Then, the most evil of them all, Maria, Duchess of Bohemia, born in 877, ended up dying in 834, and then died in Spasiva, Rostislav. She married Rostislav in 906. Now, Rostislav, Duke of Bohemia, the father, was born in 888. Died in 921. Spasislav, uncle, Wenceslas' uncle, was born in 882. He died in 915. His reign was from 889 to 915. While the father, Rostislav, was from 915 to 921. And his was 889 to 915. While her reign was from while Dromiria was from 921 to 927. Now we come to the part where Wenceslas was born, Duke of Bohemia, the first of Bohemia, born in 907, then died September 28th, 935. His reign was from 921 to 935, while Boleslas, his brother of Bohemia, born in 915, died in 972. His reign was from 935 to 972. Now, to get the story behind this, Drahomira was a jealous woman. Right after the father died, she became jealous. So jealous of she wanted anyone who she was very authoritarian. She wanted anyone who believed in what Wenceslas did, because Wenceslas believed in giving things back to people. He believed in giving back to the poor. Now, if you remember the words Good King Wenceslas, Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen when the poor man came and the poor word poor about When the poor man came inside, gathering winter fuel. Remember that part? When a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel well? Now remember this other part of the song. Bring me flesh and bring me wine. Bring me pine logs hither. Remember that part. Bring me flesh and bring me wine. Meaning, I'm going to bring me some stuff so I can bring it in here and drop off at his dwelling, because he also has a dwelling, meaning he's a poor man, because he wants to help the poor. That's what the song pretty much sums up. Now, on to the main part. She ends up dying in exile when Duke of Bohemia, when he's old enough, when Wenceslas is old enough, he takes reign and sends her to exile. When he's 18, he sends her to exile. And she ends up dying in exile at age of 9 in 934. And then he ends up dying when his brother Wenceslas, and he ends up taking over the reign as king. But he never got to be crowned king, even though his brother ended up doing it. He made so many alliances, it's not even funny. Now, they called him a king because he did so many good things for people. And that's why they crowned him king. And that's why they got the name Good King Wenceslas. But now, on to how the song became a thing. A good old ways, after so many years after it was said and done, the words of Tempest at Asloidum, written by an unknown author, has the same melody as Good King Wenceslas. Tempest at Asloidum. It's a Latin hymn, and it was written down in Finland in 1582 from a book called Pie Cantonis. Excuse me, as I'm having a hard time doing pronunciations. Written down in 1582. Now, the Latin form of that is called "The time is now for flowers," or "Spring has now unwrapped the flowers." Depending which one you ask is actually uses that frame. Now, and then it gets into the hands of John Mason Neal in 1853, and that's how it became the song, right? Or did it? Actually, that's not necessarily how it actually all came to light. In 1847, Václav Alois Svobodov, a Czech poet, born in 1791, died in 1849, wrote Good King Wenceslas in Czech, Latin, and German. In 1847, it made it over to John Mason Neal, who ended up dying right after the Civil War in 1866. He actually listened to Tempest et Asloidum. That part made it to him. He liked the tune so well, he decided to translate the actual tune. But if you were to actually listen to this in Latin, I actually did some very deep digging in Latin to actually see how this was actually done. Tempest et Asloidum in English is "The time is now for flowers." Now, if I were to translate that into complete English, this is how it was written. The time is now here for flowers to bloom. For spring, flowers are blooming, and all things they imitate the customs that the cold had damaged. They repair the heat. We see this happening through many labors. The meadows are full of flowers, pleasant to the eye, where it is to behold herbs with delight. Grasses and plants rest in winter, but in spring they grow and flourish. These things be these things beautifully shown, you God, the Creator, whom we also believe to be the maker of all things of joyful time, then which is a time to rejoice for the whole renewed to behooves us to be renewed. The earth is adorned with flowers with much beauty. We with honest manners and true love, let us therefore rejoice in pleasant times and praise the Lord from both of our hearts. That's the end of the actual poem. Now, Good King Wenceslas was written by that tune. Was written in both Czech, but I don't know which one he understood, but he obviously understood Latin, so he translated Latin to English, from my understanding. But Václav, pretty much, well, Václav Alus Svoboda was pretty much, well, a smart person who helped Good King Wenceslas write it down. Who created Good King Wenceslas, wrote down Good King Wenceslas, but it was only a poem. He wrote down the poem, but then John Mason Neal wrote it into a song. He looked at Tempest at Asloidum, he heard Tempest at Asloidum written down as a song, but he liked the tune so much, he made it into a song. And he took Tempest at Asloidum's melody and made Good King Wenceslas into that melody. Same melody, but it was in Latin. But there's a song called "The Spring Has Now Unwrapped the Flowers" is the actual melody. I was just reading what the actual English language it was for Tempest at Floydum if you were actually translating the real words, but if you really wanted to go to the way it was actually translated by other people, that would be the way. You can actually look at King Wenceslas and see how it's actually translated, and it'll show you what the translation actually is from certain individuals who did it. So, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I will get back with you next year when I think of this. So, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.